used to go to that Nando's in Fallowfield every day for 6 months with this Nando's Black Card, and you could get 4 complimentary meals on it. So I'd take all of my mates, daily. And then I became the first person that they took the Nando's Black Card back off because I'd abused it.
I've never heard anyone say that's happened.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take that back, Mr. Whitehall, I'm afraid.
It wasn't within the spirit of the offer.
Hello, mate.
Hi, mate, how are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Have a seat, my friend. I've took the liberty of ordering you a little drink there.
Thank you.
It's alcohol-free.
Well, yeah, but now when we're sat next to a wine cellar, I do get tempted. But it is 10 o'clock in the morning.
Don't tell them it's 10 o'clock, because then I look bad.
Yeah, then you look really bad.
So I was going to welcome you to Manchester, but it hardly seems like I need to, because this is practically your second home, isn't it?
Yeah. I've spent so much time in Manchester, and every time I come back here, just like all of the memories come flooding back. And I spent a lot of time up here as a student, and then...
Was that when you first came here as a student?
That was, I first came here when I was 18 to Manchester Uni, and did 3 months of an actual university course, but then lived in a student house for 3 years and started doing stand-up up here, and it was amazing.
Just hung around. What were you studying?
I was studying history of art, but by that point, I'd already done a bit of stand-up, and I'd done some open mic gigs. I'd been to Edinburgh. I knew that that's what I wanted to do, but my parents were like, you need to go to uni. And all of my mates were coming to Manchester, so I was like, I'll go there. And came here and was like, this is just the best place in the world.
The best city in the world.
So much fun here. I loved it. And I just lived in Fallowfield for...
Oh, I was going to ask you, you did it properly, proper student digs.
Oh, yeah, proper student digs. It was, the house was absolute carnage.
How many of you in the house?
There was 5 of us, but it was sort of on a rotation, and people would come and they would stay for a couple of weeks, and we'd lose people to other university towns, and then other people would be subbed in and subbed out, and I was there for 2 years. It was really it was quite a crazy time as well.
Big parties?
Yeah, a lot of big parties. I remember we lost a front door once. That was a bad hangover.
You lost the front door?
Yeah, we had a sort of rave in the house, and it got completely out of control. And then the following morning I woke up with a stinking hangover and went downstairs. I was like, oh, it doesn't look too bad. I think we can clean this up. And then realised that someone had nicked the front door. They just ripped it off the hinges, and there was just now an empty threshold. Yeah.
So what did you do?
I taped up bin liner to stop the drop.
The classic response. What else would you do?
The classic response.
Don't take offence to this, but you don't strike me as being a DIY kind of guy.
No. Yeah, gaffer tape and bin liner is about the limit to what I'm capable of.
The shopping list of a serial killer.
Yeah. It was, it did look a bit like a serial killer's house. In fact,
quarantine.
There was one incident where we were quite odd as well, I guess, eccentric, and we had a murder mystery party that we did in the house. And we'd set up all the different rooms so that there was a different scene in each of the rooms. We were a bit sad. And in the basement, they set it up with blood splattered everywhere, and a mattress and some rope and stuff.
Jesus.
And someone forgot to clear that up. And then when we left the house for the end of term, during the summer holidays, the landlord called my mate Hugo up, and he was like, is there something that went on that you want to tell me about? And Hugo was like, no, I don't think so. And he was like, I've just been down to the basement and found blood and ropes and a mattress. He was like, oh God, I'm so sorry. It was the murder mystery party that we organised.
Like a scene from Dexter.
It was insane, yeah. But I love as well that the landlord gave us the opportunity. He didn't go straight to the police.
Yeah. There's been an incident.
Yeah. I think he was thinking about that deposit.
So you lived up in Fallowfields. Is that where you used to hang out and go drinking, or did you come down to the city centre?
Yeah, I used to come down into the city centre a fair amount, but yeah, Fallowfield is where I spent a lot of my time here. Queen of Hearts, Vodka Revs. Trough, I love Trough. Yeah, that was one that I remembered spending a lot of time in. Kebab King.
Kebab
Chicken
King.
Cottage. There was also a Nando's there. And that was the funny thing, is I was a student, but I just started doing bits of television, and I always remember I got given the Nando's black card whilst I was still living in the student house in
Everybody's
Fallowfield.
dream. The most popular student in the village.
Oh my God, and I used to go to that Nando's in Fallowfield every day for 6 months with this Nando's black card, and you could get 4 complimentary meals on it. So I'd take all of my mates, daily.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, and I went and I got 4 whole chickens and brought like 15
Everybody.
of my mates, and they just like gorged on all of this free Nando's. And then I became the first person that they took the Nando's black card back off because I'd abused it.
I've never heard anyone say that's happened.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take that back, Mr. Whitehall, I'm afraid.
Yeah. It wasn't within the spirit of the offer.
Feeding the whole of the student village.
Yeah.
So happy days in Manchester for you then?
Such happy days, yeah. I had the best time ever. I was doing what I loved. I'd started doing stand-up and was going and doing gigs in and around the city, and then living with my mates, sort of carefree, and
it's great.
going out the weekend. It was amazing.
So we've kind of worked in the same place, I suppose. I used to work in a bar years ago called Pure Space.
Yeah.
And below Pure Space was what was called Subspace, quite a horrible, sticky, dark nightclub.
Yeah.
But that's where you put on some of your first ever comedy nights.
Yeah. My first ever comedy nights that I ran, and I was like the MC, were at Subspace, and it was again like sort of me and a couple of mates putting on a night, and then again like it was mainly so that we could have a massive tear off afterwards. But
yeah, of course.
It was basically as well an excuse to try and get more stage time, because back then it was just all about how much stage time you could get, and getting up in front of an audience was like, you know, such a like valuable thing as a, you know, up and coming comic. And so putting on your own night's a really good way of ensuring that you can try stuff out and, you know, have a regular gig. And so
Is there slightly less pressure as a compere as well? Because you're not necessarily the one that's there to make them laugh.
Yeah, and it's a completely different skill set, to be fair, and one that I never really mastered, because it's a lot more about like crowd work and improvisation and, you know, all of those aspects of comedy, which I tend to. I think a lot of my stuff is a little bit more scripted and maybe a bit more kind of like theatrical, and the element of like comparing is just, you know, the best compares are the people that just go on and talk to the crowd all night.
Yeah.
And I sometimes, especially if it's all your mates, that's quite hard, because you already know,
All
what do you
full.
do for a living? Oh, yeah, nothing. And you, also nothing.
Yeah. All still stinking in Nando's.
Yeah.
Just treating them all to fall out of chickens.
Exactly.
Do you deal with heckles all right then, if you're not into the crowd work so much?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good at dealing with heckles. I mean, again, that's why doing comparing is a good skill to have, because it builds those you know, tools that you need to have as a comedian, because you do have to be able to like be reactive, and if someone is going to heckle or starts kicking off, like it is important that you have the ability to deal with that. And so that's why I sort of needed to push myself out of my comfort zone and do it.
What about in the street? Do you get heckled in the street?
Yeah, when I did A League of Their Own, I got heckled a lot. I think because of that nature of that show, and it was
Because
all
it's
quite
quite
knockabout,
yeah.
and it was quite like lads.
What were you getting in the street?
I mean, it's like guys in white vans screeching to a halt and leaning out the window going, "Oi, tell Redknapp he's a wanker." And I'll be like, "Okay, with my girlfriend right now, please."
Yeah, but I'll make a note of it.
Yeah, but I will definitely pass that message on to him. Don't you worry about that.
Back to the comedy night. Was it called Comedy Sluts?
It was called Comedy Sluts, and we had John Bishop. He came and headlined it for us at one point.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, like Paul Sinner from The Chase. He did it. We
I
had
love Paul Sinner.
I love
from
Paul
The Chase.
Sinner, the Sinner Man. Yeah, he came and did the show for us. We had one night, I think, which was awful, where
I bet there was more than one.
Yeah, there was more than one, where headliner didn't turn up, and I was comparing, and I'd already done all of my material. So then you got to go back on, and then just basically fill, you know, for 20 minutes, so that people have had enough of a night. But I had no jokes left to do, so it was just a waffle.
So, how long did those nights go on for? How long did you do it for?
I mean, I think we did about 9 or 10 of them, and then wrapped it up. I think we got kicked out of a couple of venues as well, and sort of moved around Manchester to a few different places.
Relatively receptive to comedy nights in Manchester, though, I think. There's a fair few of them, isn't there? People enjoy it in the city.
Yeah, and there's some great nights here. Like Frog and Bucket is obviously fantastic.
Yeah.
Toby Haydock's night as XS Malarkey is like one of the best
Legendary
comedy
now.
clubs in the country, and
Going
that's
for decades.
That's been going for forever. And Toby's amazing. Like he's a really. I remember when I was starting out here, he was a very kind of supportive influence. Wow.
Right, gents.
Here we go.
Couple of bits for you.
What we got here then, mate?
So, these are razor clams from
Yeah.
the south coast,
Very nice.
served almost raw. Asparagus from Nottingham, and egg mayonnaise. And then these are from our own garden, Cinderwood. Sugar snap peas, purple peas, and a couple of different radishes with smoked grill roe.
Yeah, and this is kind of indicative of what you lot do here as well, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you're very much onto seasonality.
Keep it simple, but clean.
Growing your own
Protein.
stuff as well.
We've got a garden. It's run by Michael Fitzsimmons. He's out in Cheshire. Brings us produce every week, twice a week, and to lots of other restaurants as well.
Nice. Well,
that's what
listen,
we've
we're
been
going to
working
dig into this.
Amazing.
Thanks very much, man. Do you like
I mean,
asparagus?
this looks great.
Are you into your food, Jack?
Yeah, I am. I would never out loud describe myself as a foodie, but
I don't like
I
the
think
word
it.
foodie.
No, I don't like the word foodie. Is there a less
Wanky.
wanky way of saying it?
I
I'm
like
a food
food.
wanker. Yeah.
But then everyone likes
I like food.
don't
Yeah,
they?
but you can't say that. I'm a gourmand. Worse?
My grandpa used to call me a gourmandizer.
A gourmandizer.
Yeah?
Oh.
It's a good word, isn't it?
Strong.
Yeah.
I'll take that on. Bread rolls with whole wheat that we make here, and cheddar tart.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Cheese.
Oh, love it. Thank you.
Everyone loves a cheddar tart. So I know you are into your food a fair bit,
Yeah.
and actually there's a bit of a theme going on here with sluts. Because you have your comedy sluts,
Yeah.
and you also do food sluts.
Yeah, with the
Which is-
same guys, with the same mates from uni.
Is it?
Yeah, and that happened sort of during lockdown when my sort of focuses shifted quite drastically in terms of what my work output was, and basically not working. So I was like, oh well,
What do I do now?
What do I do now? I'll pivot into becoming a food blogger for a couple of months, and so yeah, we ran a sort of food blog to keep us sane in lockdown, which was fun.
It's still running, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of running, and we did like some collaborations with friends of ours that were chefs, and a little pop-up restaurant in London as well. And it was fun. It was a really interesting and silly kind of distraction through that weird time that was the pandemic.
You put on like events, like supper clubs and stuff as well.
Yeah, we did supper clubs. I've got a couple of mates that are chefs as well, and so did
Tom
some
Bateman.
things with them. Yeah, Tom Bateman.
I know Tom.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's mega.
Really, and he's like blown up as well, like over the last year, which has been amazing to see. I've actually just remembered there was another guy who I was at uni with, and he now works at a really good restaurant. But he's like a Michelin star chef, and he used to do this thing where he would cook this incredible food and then like invite a couple of mates over, and you'd eat it in his room in this like tiny little like student
Like in his
room.
bedroom?
In his bedroom, and he'd call it his like gourmet club. And he was like really talented, and you can tell even back then when you were like eating it off a paper plate, huddled in some room that
Yeah.
just stank of cheap vodka and deep heat, that this
my
guy was going to
favourite
go far.
combination.
Yeah, it's really
what a
that
combo.
aroma really helps with like opening up the taste buds.
Yeah, get involved with that. It's really good.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah.
I texted my mate, who I do the food slut thing with, to get to get some info on where we used to eat when we were back in
But can
Manchester.
you literally not remember?
Well, I couldn't remember. Well, I could remember, but I was like, all of the places is just like so studenty that I don't know whether it's going to be, painting the best picture of Manchester's thriving gastronomical scene.
Okay, what you got?
Well, he said Trough first up,
Trough, great.
Chicken King, Abdul's. I
Abdul's.
do remember eating a lot in Abdul's. He even sent me his order: Kashmiri spiced lamb naan wrap.
He still remembers.
Yeah. So there was a lot of time spent in Abdul's, I do remember that. And then Crowbar as well.
Oh, now I used to spend a lot of time in Crowbar
Yeah.
on Oxford Road.
Yeah, on the Oxford Road, just opposite the uni.
Big glass building.
Yeah.
That's a Tesco Express now.
What? I remember my mind being blown the first time I went there and experienced the Danwich.
The what?
The Danwich.
What's
the
the
Danish, the Danish sandwich where they don't put the top on it.
Yeah, there was a Dane
And I was like,
accent, wasn't
what? This is insane.
The thing I always think about when I think of Crow was they had this thing where they referred to all their staff as Crowbots. I just used to think that was really
It's a bit-
shit. I'm
it's a
sorry,
bit
Crow, if
demeaning.
you're watching, but stop calling your staff Crowbots. But you weren't just here as a student though, because you filmed Fresh Meat here, so you must have been back as a...
As a fake student. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I came back then to do Fresh Meat, and so was here every summer for like 3 or 4 months for 5 years. The first couple of years that we were here, we were all still quite young, and I don't know, we certainly had that like student edge to how we enjoyed the city, and there was a lot of late night drinking sessions in the Northern Quarter, and me and all of that cast just got on so well, which is so rare for a show to like properly become really, really good friends with the people that you're filming it with. But we were all of a kind of similar age and at a similar place in our lives, and just like really clicked. So it was like, have such happy memories of that as well. Like
That's nice, mate.
spending time with them, and and now I do shows, and it's like you realize how lucky you were to have that experience. I mean, I get on with a lot of the people that I work with, but you're not like necessarily going to the pub every day after filming because you want to hang out with these people, because it's like being with your best mates.
And a lot of filming was in the pub. Was it the King's Arms in Salford?
Yeah.
Again, top boozer.
Great boozer.
Really great place.
And so dangerous to film in an actual boozer, because obviously, like most things that you see, Coronation Street, that's not an actual boozer,
Fake,
is it?
and fake beer as well.
Yeah, and it's fake beer. That was, I mean, it was, to be fair, I think fake beer, but then it would just turn into an actual boozer the minute we stopped filming, and then we were like, well, I mean, I guess we could just stay here and start drinking real beer. And
Would make sense.
There was a lot of incidences of that.
Now listen, mate, we've got some questions here. You're all right with that from followers? We put it out on social media. We've only got a couple of them food and drink related, and then one that you may or may not want to answer. So first up, this is from Eleanor. Thank you, Eleanor. She says, on all your travels, be it filming with your dad or when you're on location, what's the weirdest thing you've eaten or had to eat?
It was probably in Cambodia when I went to one of those wet markets.
Just explain what a wet market is in case anyone doesn't realise.
It's like a sort of farmer's market, but they'll just eat anything. It's insane. I saw like, so I don't want to say this while we're eating. Just get a mouthful of that. Just get a mouthful of that, and then I'll tell you about them skinning live frogs in front of me. Also, it was so hot, and the smells were like, it was like, I've never experienced anything like it. I was like dry heaving at every turn, because you get hit by another like belting smell.
Disgusting smell.
And I think my dad's so old, and he's, pickled himself in fine wine, that all of his senses are slightly dulled, so he didn't experience it as badly as I did. But for me, it was just this sensory overload. And I remember eating a lot of like, there was snake, there was crickets.
Snake?
There was lots of, yeah.
I've had crickets.
I think, scorpions as well.
I've had a scorpion.
I had a scorpion on a stick.
Disgusting, isn't it?
It's minging, yeah.
Just a really horrible, acrid taste to it.
Yeah. The minute when anyone thrusts something in your face and they says, trust me, it's just like chicken, just avoid it. It's never like chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken is lovely.
I've been tricked like that before, Jack.
Yeah.
Right, next question.
Try this, it's foul.
This is from Abby. When you're backstage, when you're on tour, do you have a rider? And if so, what is it? What do you insist that they bring you backstage?
I used to have a rider that was 6 cans of Diet Coke and a packet of Haribo Star Mix.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. And some ketamine.
That's
sorry,
tang plastic.
Yeah. So I never really got round to changing it from that. So it was that for ages. When I went on tour with my dad, he did have a rider, which was a bottle of Perrier Jouet champagne.
Wow. Now that's an impressive rider.
That and a defibrillator we'd need in every single dressing room.
And did he get it every time if he's asking for it? Did he always get it?
And then he'd have like one glass and then leave it in the dressing room. It was like, You're absolute
They'd have been furious.
twat.
Furious about that.
Yeah, we made no money.
Oh, why don't you had champagne?
Yeah.
Last one of these for now. This is from Tommy. And this actually kind of links back to what you were saying about being friends with the cast from Fresh Meat.
Yeah.
Of all the people you've worked with, who's the biggest dick?
Who's the biggest dick?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you don't have to answer this.
No,
However,
I'm trying to think of
Being
someone.
scowled at over there by your people.
I'm trying to think who I've already slagged off publicly, so who it's safe to work with, or who can throw under the bus.
We can move on.
I could have got out of it, and then I'm like desperate to try and find someone to throw under the bus. I really want to slag someone off.
Well, if it comes to it a bit later,
Yeah.
let me know. So, League of Their Own, Fresh Meat, talk about what's up?
I was just like, I should have just said Rolf Harris or someone like that. That would have been safe.
He's dead.
Exactly. No one's going to be coming for me for slagging off Rolf. Again, I didn't have to say that. We'd moved on.
Yeah, but there's something. Yeah, I want it.
Rolf. I was there at that BAFTAs when he got the fellowship. I was up on my feet doing the standing. Yeah.
I interviewed him once.
Did you?
Many years ago.
You
Yeah,
did
he was
this?
doing not like this.
No.
I was very young. It was back at his hotel room. Anyway, let's move on from Rolf Harris. We don't need to. We're getting bogged down with Rolf Harris.
We're getting distracted with Rolf. Let's just move on.
Let's talk, because I know a lot of people like to talk about this, but about you and Hollywood now. Because I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very lucky to have been able to do movies in Hollywood, and to have been a small part of some of them is amazing. And like, yeah, I do genuinely. That's where I get like the worst imposter syndrome is when I'm on the sets of those types of things. I'm like, what is this like?
I can imagine.
I started doing dick jokes in pubs, and now I'm
doing
dick
something
with The Rock. Yeah.
With The Rock, yeah. How was The Rock?
Yeah, he was great. Yeah.
Is he great? Is he a sound? Because he comes across as being a sound fella, doesn't he?
Yeah. He'd be so like, and genuinely, I was really worried about meeting him. Like, oh, please don't be a letdown, because people are sometimes.
He could have been an answer to Tommy's
Yeah,
question.
exactly.
Yeah, The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock. Probably wouldn't call him out, but yeah, he was like properly sound. Had a great sense of humour. Like we just chatted about wrestling, which was great.
You're a big wrestling fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I love wrestling, and I was like, oh God, is it a bit tragic if I start asking him about WrestleMania and Stone Cold Steve Austin? But like, that's his passion. So
Do the
he's safe
catchphrase.
on that. Yeah.
Did you ask him to do it?
Nah, I think I asked for an eyebrow at one point, which he showed me.
Did he oblige?
Yeah, give me the one.
That's good. That's like, what's that Welsh newsreader? I don't know that.
Hugh Edwards?
He does a very good.
Does he?
Yeah. I was watching on Would I Lie to You, and apparently that if he's talking to a reporter and they're going on a bit too long, he just raises that eyebrow just to shut them up.
What? Really?
Yeah. And
That's like the little sign. Like,
yeah. So
wrap this up.
Watch out for it.
Yeah.
What I liked was it was almost like seeing a nice reunion when you were on the James Corden show out in America.
Yeah.
It's like seeing both of you, boys done good, out in the States. How was that for you?
Yeah, that was fun. That, like, his shows was always a really fun show to do. The only problem with it is that, like, because he is just a mate and I've known him for so long and he knows so much about me and knows all of my stories.
You were worried.
Yeah, but he used to like bring them out of me, and it is slightly different tone out there. Everyone's just a bit like less cynical and a bit more guarded and media trained. Especially on those shows, they tend to be produced within an inch of their life, and they want you to know everything. I did Ellen's show the first time I ever went to America. I did Ellen DeGeneres' show, and they were so strict about what I could say. And I remember the briefing call before I went on. They said to me, "You cannot make any reference to lesbianism or meat because
meat,
because she's a vegan, so you can't talk about meat." And I had suggested a joke about KFC because I had some joke that I was doing at the time about KFC, and they're like, "No, you can't do that." I was like, "What? She can't hear about meat. She's so vegetarian that even like conceptually the idea of meat is so offensive that I can't talk about KFC." And they went, "No, you'll have to do another joke or another story." It's insane. it was probably not like directly from her, but like that's how they produce those shows. So that's what I was kind of used to. And then I went and did James's show for the first time, and he encouraged me to tell some horrendous story that I told him once, and I obliged because I'm an idiot, and then told this story about like it was like a quite graphic sex story.
Oh yeah.
And I was next to Brie Larson, Miss Marvel, who was just horrified that this disgusting degenerate from England had come out onto this show and like lowered the tone with this crass story about having sexual intercourse and getting heartburn halfway through.
Oh, I've heard that story.
Yeah, not appropriate for a chat show.
No, not next to Brie Larson. That's not what he was like in Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Also, Billy Bob Thornton was there and he was judging me. I was like, you used to go around with a vial of blood around your neck, and I'm the weirdo.
He's in no position to judge anyone,
Exactly.
that man. You should have said him earlier. To tell it's all now we're finding loads
now,
of people.
Oh my god, yeah. Floodgates are open.
So, Hollywood, films, all going very well, but you're going back to what I'm assuming was your first love.
Yeah.
Stand-up.
Yeah.
Big tour coming to Manchester. What can we expect from this, Jack?
Well, I hadn't toured for like 4 years, and I kind of, after the last one, slightly thought, I might knock it on the head. I think I even accidentally retired at one point. I was with your mate, Jay Rayner, and I was talking about stand-up. I was like, I might not do that again. And then someone picked it up. It was like, I've retired. I was like, oh God, I don't know whether I meant that. But then I didn't do it for a couple of years. And then last summer I was out in LA doing this TV show during COVID, and it went on forever, and they kept having to stand down the whole cast because it was weirdly, it's this murder mystery show called The After Party, and then over the course of filming, like each member of the cast went down with COVID, so it became like a sort of murder mystery in itself.
Within a murder mystery.
To set and someone wasn't there, and it just meant there was like so much downtime, and I was feeling so idle, and I was, looking at the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory on my drive home every day. I was like, I could just go off and start doing
Twitching a little bit.
Yeah, and I really felt like this itch to get back up on stage, and I did, and as often happens, like fall straight back into a groove and remember why I love it so much, and then didn't look back, just kept writing material and building this set,
And I'm guessing the material, because I'm imagining it's going to feel a lot more grown up. Because, of course, and congratulations, by the way, you're going to be a father.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
First child.
First child, yeah.
One bit of advice for you I would have is don't have two.
Don't have two?
No, it's a fucking nightmare.
You can man-mark one, but if you've got two, there's always one that's
one kid is delightful. You can be
Yeah.
once you have two, which I've got, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
So stick to the one.
Stick to the
and
one.
you'll be happy.
And I'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, weirdly that happened as well. Like, I'd already started writing this set, and it was going to be called Settle Down. It was all about sort of reluctantly settling down and becoming
before
a
you
little bit
even
grown
knew
up.
you
Yeah, and then I had the
wow.
baby. I was like, great. That's a new avenue to explore. But also, it's great because I think the hard thing with stand-up is finding inspiration for material, and you have to take a little bit of time off, and you do have to just go and live a bit of life and get some like genuine experience. Like, no one wants to watch a comedian like talking about like fun hijinks that they had on set, or like doing press tours, and and fame. I think you can grow quite tiring as subject matter for a comedian, because it just feels so unrelatable. And not that necessarily I've ever been the most relatable comedian that there is out there, but it's still good to try and find common ground that you can share with an audience. And so it was great that I'd had 4 years not doing anything, and a lot of life had happened in that time. I'd met my missus, bought the house, got a dog, now she's pregnant. It's a lot of things are happening, and when those things happen, that's when you find it's you become most inspired to write stuff and come up with interesting angles on life.
Do you feel like you have grown up? Do you feel old? Because are you making noises whenever you have to stand up yet?
I make noises. I came up on the train yesterday in the quiet carriage, and I genuinely found myself tutting at someone for eating their crisps too loudly. And I was like, wow,
that's strict.
What have I become? And it's not like it happens overnight, but those things, they sort of creep up on you, I mean, the state of my lads WhatsApp group with all of those guys that I was at uni with, Like that lads WhatsApp group used to be us, like, you know, showing
oi, oi.
off about pub crawls
Yeah.
and sexual escapades, and now they share each other's runs. It's just maps of
Strava.
like the run, to show me like the exact time and distance they spent this weekend running away from their family. My mate the other day was in that, and he was asking if anyone had the number of an osteopath. It's so depressing, but maybe it's not. Maybe I need to just like
embrace it.
Embrace it.
Embrace it. I'm 47 now, and I hate it. I'm telling you to embrace it. I fucking hate it. I hate being old.
I'm going to leave the group chat.
Jack has left.
Protest. This is a disgrace.
It's been great to meet you. Thank you for having some food. Food was lovely, by the way, wasn't
The
it?
food's amazing. Really, really good.
Well done to the boys over there.
This one, best in show. The cheddar tart. Do you mind if I have that final little quarter?
You take that, mate. You finish that. We're looking forward to you coming to Manchester for the show. You're doing 2 nights here, aren't you?
2 nights, at the Manchester Arena.
Big old venue, that.
Yeah.
Do you like doing the big venues?
Yeah, I love it. The funniest thing about that arena, as well, is that the last time that I did it, I had a great night. All of my mates came to watch the show, all the uni lads. And then after the show, we went out in Manchester and we ended up back in Fallowfield. And we had like afters in a newsagent's called, what's it called? Gaffs.
I know Gaffs.
Gaffs, yeah.
That's a mad place in itself for just a little offie.
Yeah, we went to Gaffs, and the guy, Danny, who worked in Gaffs, remembered me and remembered my mates. He was like, come in. And we had a lock-in in Gaffs. And I was like, I must be the only person that's ever played the Manchester Arena and then had an after party in a newsagent's in Fallowfield.
That's keeping it real, mate, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, listen, thank you very much. Can't wait to see the show. Great to chat to you. Let's just tuck into this, shall we?
Thank you so much.
Can I get another?
Let me just head in there.
Oh yeah, there's loads. We'll get our own.
It's unlocked. That's where I'm going to have the lock-in next time.
Well, if you're going in there, mate,
In
I'll
June.
come with
Yeah,
you.
me and you in there. Barricade ourselves in.
Last man standing.